Invested already? Let's look at what you need to know to manage your investment smoothly. What if you need to change your bank account or nominee? What happens when your contact details change? And where do you go if you have a query or grievance? In this video, we'll cover the intermediate FAQs on operations and investor services for GHL India Asset Secured NCDs, helping you understand the key processes, support channels, and important timelines you need to know. Let's get into the details. One, can an investor change the registered bank account after making the investment? Yes. An investor may request a change in the registered bank account for a valid reason, subject to GHL India's verification and approval process. To ensure that the change can be processed before the next monthly interest payout, the investor should submit the request at least 2 weeks before the scheduled payout date. The updated bank details will be used for future payouts after the change has been duly verified and processed. Important note: investors should not assume that a bank account change request will take effect immediately. The request must first undergo the applicable verification process. Key takeaway: to avoid disruption to monthly interest payments, submit any bank account change request at least 2 weeks before the payout date. 2. Can an investor change the nominee after the investment has been made? Yes. An investor may request a change of nominee after investment, provided there is a valid reason for the change. The request will be subject to GHL India's review and approval. The investor should provide the updated nominee information and any supporting documentation required by the company for processing the request. Key takeaway: nominee details are not necessarily permanent. They can be updated after investment, subject to a valid reason and the company's approval. 3. What should an investor do if their mobile number, email ID, or correspondence address changes? Investors should promptly inform GHL India Asset whenever any of their registered contact or correspondence details change. This is important because these details may be used for investor communications, investment acknowledgements, important notices, account-related communication, other investor service requirements. The investor should submit the updated information through the prescribed process so that GHL can update its records. Key takeaway: keeping your registered contact details updated helps ensure that you do not miss important investment-related communications. 4. How can investors contact GHL Investor Support? GHL India Asset has a central investor support channel for investment-related queries and service requests. Investor support email: investorservice@ghlaindia.com. Investors may use this channel for matters relating to their investment, documentation, payouts, account information, and other investor service requirements. Investors may also seek assistance from their IRM, who can help coordinate the query with the appropriate team where required. Key takeaway: investors have access to both their IRM and GHL's central investor support channel for investment-related assistance. 5. How are investor grievances handled? GHL India Asset follows a structured process for addressing investor grievances. Investors may raise their grievance through the central investor support channel, investorservice@ghlaindia.com. The grievance will be reviewed by the appropriate team, and subject to the nature and complexity of the matter, GHL aims to resolve it within 2 to 7 working days. Where additional information or documentation is required from the investor, the resolution timeline may depend on receiving the necessary information. The objective of the grievance mechanism is to ensure that investor concerns are properly received, reviewed by the appropriate team, addressed within the prescribed internal timeline, communicated to the investor appropriately. Key takeaway: GHL aims to resolve investor grievances within 2 to 7 working days through its structured investor service process. What happens behind the scenes after you invest? Understanding the operational side can help you make informed decisions and navigate your investment with confidence. In the next episode, we will explore advanced FAQs on operations and investor services for GHL India Asset Secured NCDs, including how investor records and information are managed, what happens in the event of an investor's demise, whether NCDs can be transferred or assigned, and the key checks to complete before investing. The more you know, the more confidently you invest. Stay tuned for what's next.